Jenny, the day is finally here. We're here at the racecourse for our first ever UEFA Women's Champions League game. I know you spoke yesterday about how you felt, but now you're here in the ground. How does it feel?
Yeah, definitely the excitement's here. A little bit of nerves probably because of the size of the occasion today. Team have spent a huge amount of time preparing for this. It felt like when we first came back, quite a long time away, but you know what, it creeps up on you, doesn't it, when you're super busy, being diligent, making sure that you've got all your details sorted. So massive excitement about this game, this occasion, the Champions League, what it represents, what it means to everybody that's involved in it, and just like feeling badass, feeling ready.
You've been with the players all day, all week for this past month. Do you feel like they are ready for this monumental occasion? Yeah, definitely. We pride ourselves on our preparation, and it's been obviously no different for this. We feel ready in how we've given some good information, we believe, on the opposition, but more about just ourselves and how we want to show up, how we want to play the game, how we want to manage and deal with the occasion, and how we want to, we spoke earlier in pre-season about how when the team walks out on the pitch, it shouldn't matter if they've got a badge on their kit or not. Everybody that's watching should be able to recognise our side, our Wrexham side, from how we show up and what we do. So there's a lot of work gone into that, and I think they're all excited to be able to go and enjoy this game this evening. On our opponents, FC Pyunik, they announced last night 6 new signings, but how has that altered your preparation?
It hasn't altered the preparation. We've definitely, had a quick staff meeting post-training last night. We've got our analysis department, straight away found what they could find on those individual players, their playing background, what positions they might be, so that when we get the team sheet, we'll have a rough idea of who we've seen and not seen and what we might expect from that. But after that, it's nothing new's been delivered to the players, because the biggest part of us being successful today is us, and it's how we deliver on our game plan, it's how we manage the big moments in the game, and that's definitely been our message to the players.
Final one from me. We know how important the fans are to this team, to this squad. We heard them in the game earlier today between Glentoran and Riga. They were loud for them, but how much you go into hearing how loud they are for this team? Yeah. From the first whistle to the last, we know that they're going to have our backs. They'll be behind us. I know some of them were here watching the game earlier as well. And, for them, it's about a whole day of football. It's a whole day of excitement. They've been waiting for this as long as we have, talking about it, the stories and the occasion and everything that goes with it. So, I hope they get to enjoy not just the game, but the performance and the result as well. Diolch, Jenny. Pob lwc.
Diolch.
Well, welcome to Wrexham in the Champions League. Can you believe that? It's quite something, isn't it? We've seen one game here already today, but this is history. Wrexham, a club with remarkable records in Europe, incredible pedigree, with the men's team at least. This is the first time the women's team have got into European competition, and we're starting in the biggest competition of all. Preliminary stage. Obviously, if we get through this stage, there's another one of these to go, and then another. There's 3 preliminary rounds before we get through to the actual group stage proper. That would be a hell of an ask, but one challenge at a time. Wrexham against Pyunik, the Armenian champions. This will be a unique experience, and like I said, massively historic day here as the oldest international football ground in the world hosts the Champions League for the very first time. It's spine-tingling, isn't it? I'm honoured to be joined by two of the greats of Wrexham Football Club as well, Del Morgan and Mia Roberts, and I'm thrilled to be sharing the game with them. They'll be holding my hand and taking me through the match. But first, like I said, there was a game this morning. So let's have a look back to the clash between the Irish champions, Glentoran, and the Latvian champions, Riga. The winners of that match will face the winners of this one in the final on Saturday. So here we are, the teams lining up. My goodness me, what an occasion this is. Wrexham against Pyunik, the Armenian champions, and as the players shake hands, well, this is really one heck of an occasion and one heck of a moment, and especially for those people who've been backing or been part of this Wrexham women's team. Let's have a look at that Wrexham side. And there are three changes from the team that started against Sporting Jacks last week. Lizzie Craven comes in goal. Of course, she was terrific when she came off the bench in that game last week. Also up front, Natasha Thomas still hasn't had enough minutes under her belt, so she's on the bench, but Ava Suckley comes in up front, and let's be honest, that's a swap over which certainly isn't going to hurt us at all. And Bella Reedford comes in at left wing back as well, replacing Michaela Cook. So a pretty familiar look to this side. As for Pyunik, well, they sprung a surprise yesterday when they announced 6 new signings. Let's not be naive here. They'd signed those players before. Wrexham were waiting for them to pull this sort of little trick out the bag, to be honest. And so they've got a number of interesting players to watch out for. The goalkeeper, one of many, obviously, making her debut, is American. Amber Lockwood has just come from playing in the top division of Portugal. I watched a video of her and she looks very tasty and very aggressive coming out for aerial balls. Watch out as well in midfield for Louisa Gazarian, who was player of the season in the Armenian League last year. Over 20 goals, over 15 assists, and there is a legend as well in terms of quality player at Carpathian, who is a 35-year-old veteran international, really classy player, a great touch. Well, Del, Mia, I mean, wow, firstly, our team, interesting, but maybe not hugely surprising, I suppose, in the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, these girls would have started pre-season knowing this is probably what their main goal was, to get into this starting 11. So I think Jen and Bex and co would have thought very hard about this and thought about every training session that come by, every game they've played, and who's earned the right to play in this game, and possibly who's going to fit what Pyunik are going to give us as well. Are they a fast team, so we need certain fast players in certain positions? Are they going to be aggressive on the press? You just don't know. So I mean, it's great to see as well, despite all the new faces we got in the team, that we've still got a lot of faces that got us to this stage. So as well, that's really nice to see, and what a reward to these players as well, to still, with all the new faces, the new competition, a reward to still get the start of this amazing historic game.
And Mia, you know, we've sat side by side through the remarkable journey of the men's team and the occasional women's game as well, of course. But I mean, can you sum up just what this means, this right here, right now?
Yeah, this just feels like a huge moment that really, you know, you can't quite explain just how big it is, in my opinion, because, you know, we're talking about Wrexham AFC back in European competition, and, you know, that's something we haven't said in over 30 years and obviously never said for the women's team. And, you know, I think that was something that was really put out there as the goal, you know, a few years ago when Robin Ryan came in. You know, I remember Gemma Owen saying this a lot, that the goal was Europe, but I don't think anyone thought we'd be here in such a short space of time, and that means for me, those players, you know, each and every one that's come and gone, as well as the amazing group of staff that are here now and have been here before, they deserve huge credit. But one thing Wrexham AFC doesn't do is rest on its laurels, and I think we're going to go right for it today and try and achieve even more.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? Right, ready for history? Ready for the first Wrexham player to touch the ball in the Champions League? Yeah, us too. As the referee from the Netherlands, Manon Plutsen, gets into the win. Eva Suckley lays it back, and here we go. Can Wrexham pull this off? It'll be one hell of a challenge against the Armenian champions, who had a small matter of an 18-game season last time out and won all 18. That's a promising starter. And immediately, Karapetyan's telling her teammates to calm down. Here's Harvey, who was outstanding in that match against Sporting Jackson. Just here on the left, she started on the right of the back three. Oh, no, big one, she wasn't on the left, wasn't she? Here she is again. There, my first mess up of the game. And that is Gazarian playing the ball inside, but intercepted well. Man, chance perhaps for Wrexham to drive forwards. Knox in the sort of area she likes to be. That's nice. One challenge too many in the end, but this is a promising front foot start by Wrexham as Frances Jones tucked in, puts pressure on the ball. They managed to get the ball out to where she's vacated, but Wrexham are getting numbers back quickly. That's good pace, but Davis is there to intercept, and in the end to win the goal kick. Good crowd in as well today. That'll mean a lot, I think, well, the noise that they generate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a big thing that's been used over the past few weeks, talking about that home advantage. And, you know, it's great to see a lot of bums on seats tonight. The sun's shining, and like we've already said, it's a historic night. So, you know, every one of those people who's managed to get here, it's a really momentous moment.
Little ball round the corner by Reedford. And that isn't the best pass by Harvey. Danger here. As the ball's picked up by Gazarian, that danger, just goal-scoring player. And Wrexham need to keep their shape here. Something which we did extremely well, I thought, against Sporting. Jacks, awkward one for Craven, good punch. Good decisive keeping, flags up for offside. Always good for a keeper to come and deal with the ball like that early on, though.
Yeah, absolutely. She's just, stating her claim on the game. She's letting them know that she's going to be aggressive. She's going to come out for anything in that box. And a situation like that, a save like that, gives the players around you a lot of confidence as well. And for that to be your second touch of the game, that does good for you as a goalkeeper.
She came on halfway through the second half on Thursday and did extremely well. As here she is now, right-footed. Can't pick out Frances Jones, which is a decent enough start. We saw Riga look very, very tasty this morning. Davis gets rid. But it's an interesting challenge. There's very little that you can really do to research Pyunik, and the club have found that as well. But having said that, the most recent full 90 available publicly, and I think as well to the club, is from the end of the season before the last one.
I think things you can expect from teams from these sort of countries are they're going to be physical. They're going to let you know that they're there, that they're in for a fight, and they're not going to let you win a physical duel as easily. But yeah, other than that, like you said, it's very hard to predict what they're going to bring to the game, what their strengths and weaknesses are really. It's sort of one of them you're going to have to learn as the game goes on. But I imagine Jen's got a couple of game plans for certain scenarios, depending how it goes.
The other thing, of course, is that they dominate their league, like I said. It played 18, won 18, average of 6 goals a game. So they are used to dominating. A lot of attacking players, Suckley does well there. This is going to be a different type of game, even if they are very good technically, and quite how they deal with that. Plus the fact, of course, they've got so many new players. As here, there's Lourdes Roberta, the Brazilian fullback, getting it away. It's going to be a journey discovery for them, as well as Reedford is outnumbered in the end, and Gazarian's very, very involved early on. That's a nice pass as well. Frances Jones does well to ensure that Yegyan can't get a turn in. Remember, you can get in touch with us using the hashtag AskWrexham, it's ASKWXM on Blue Sky or Twitter. Suckley again looking to hook the ball forwards, and Chiesi in the end is able to get rid. Craven so confident with the ball to feet. Barker, now in the number 9 shirt, won't be able to get to that. Good to see her starting after the knock she took last week. I think the club are confident she would be okay, but you don't want to go into a game as big as this without Katie Barker. Or indeed Jodie Bartle, who has been carrying an injury in pre-season. That's good work to win it back for Frances Jones. And then Lily Jones can't get through the challenge from Kiaren. Free kick given.
Yeah, I think just in terms of obviously the preparation coming into this game, though, I think in some ways it just sort of allows you to go back to basics, because you have so little information on your opposition, so you're just so focused on yourselves. And in some ways I really don't think that's a bad thing for this Wrexham side. Sometimes you can become too interested and too obsessed in what your opposite man's doing that you don't prioritise your strengths.
And of course to focus on yourselves, it never hurts. Offside flags up. And that's always a good idea, to make sure you get your game plan right first and foremost. I think the club felt they knew what Pyunik's game plan would be, but obviously the personnel was very unpredictable.
Yeah, and I think end of the day you can only control what you do yourself and what you do as a team. So if you just do that well and do everything that you needed to do, you're putting yourself in the best possible position no matter what is in front of you.
Well, precisely. As Pyunik putting pressure, it's good, determined, typically dogged play by Phoebe Davis. Craven, good pass. Reedford. Well, Harvey's just underdone that, but Reedford will tidy it up. Craven's available. Harvey feeds it in, and on her wrong foot, she's done well to get distance on that. Lourdes Roberta again putting pressure on, signed from the Brazilian second division. Lily Jones, that's good. Now Davis can keep that moving on. In fact, she's gone looking for Barker. She drags out from the back Scalio, the Argentinian central defender. Now then, that time Jones can't quite find her teammates. They're picking up some pockets in our half that I think Jenny Sugarman will be looking at between the lines. That's a nasty ball in, and Bartle just gets enough on it. Oh, just for a horrible second I thought she'd scored then.
Yeah, it's a horrible one as a defender when it's just coming right across your goal. It's just in that absolute corridor of nightmares, really, and she just does enough, Jodie Bartle, to make sure that that ankle locks enough so it doesn't quite angle back in her own goal. Good defended in the end.
Like I said, that number 11 Ghazarian, the Armenian League Player of the Year. She's drifting around and finding space in our half. She's on the ball all the time. She looks really, really good. They have good set-piece delivery as well, and this is Karpathian to deliver. Though she's also one of the more obvious aerial targets. Ghazarian's picked up acres of space beyond the far post. It's under hit, but awkward for Craven, who beats it away. Suckley fighting, forces it back out there. Karpathian. Yerevan. Pyunik trying to claim a foul. Certainly didn't look it. Referee's going to stop play because of that. The referee, the Norwegian ref on this morning, was really not taking any shenanigans and allowing plenty of physical contact, and I'd be very happy if she turned up for this match. So the ball be given back to Craven. The Wrexham fans over there not impressed. And after last week, who'd have thought it? An Argentinian pretending to be injured. Oh, now that's a problem. As the lifted shot is in. Oh, that's a good finish. But Wrexham will be so disappointed with the way that has come about. Playing our way out from the back, and there was just lots of space through the middle. Lofted finish is a good one. They're really milking the celebration in front of the dugout. But it was a good finish, that. Can't complain about that.
Yeah, I mean, she took it really well, to be fair, but if you're looking at our defensive shape, I think if I'm going to be really strict on possibly Liz, that's a big ask on one step to try kick it over a couple of lines of units to get it over, and it's a sort, if she could have played that ball, she's got to get it right. And you know, their back line is so spread apart as well, and you're just asking for trouble. Once you lose it, they're through on goal, and that's what happened. But to be fair, when she was in that opportunity, she took it so well. But that unavoidable, completely unavoidable, and completely our doing, unfortunately.
Our centre-backs are split so we could try and play it out from the back, and when we lose it like that, it meant we were just wide open at the back, weren't we?
Yeah, and I think just in there, that's where Pyunik's starting position actually from the drop ball was really good. They were really positive. They were almost a 4-2-4, just absolutely in the knowledge that Wrexham were probably going to be forced into going fairly short. So they were just set and ready for a loose pass or something they could latch onto, and Wrexham maybe just a little bit flat-footed.
Here now. Chance to strike back. That's a great burst. Now it plays in the middle. Yes! Great finish. Wrexham score in Europe. Katie Barker. Of course it's Katie Barker. Great finish. But Faye Knox just ripped through Pyunik then. And goodness, maybe we weren't left behind for long. Great play by Wrexham and great heart. The noise those Wrexham fans made the moment we conceded. They do it every time. But listen to that noise now.
Well, it's brilliant response from Wrexham. Not been in this position before. It's not very often this side goes 1-0 down fairly early on, and it's not very often a Welsh team scores in Europe, but Katie Barker, she knows how to score, never mind what stage she's on. But it's absolutely brilliant from Faye Knox. Just sees the defender in front of her and says, I don't care who you are, I'm going past you, and just knocks one inside, and that's Katie Barker all day long, isn't it?
Oh, and that's a high challenge as well by Fight, appropriately named. American left back who's going to get a talking to from the Dutch referee. But wow, I mean, fair play. What a way to hit back by Wrexham.
What a response. I mean, I got goosebumps when that went in. Our first goal in the Champions League. Not many, like Mia said, not many Welsh teams score in the Champions League. So, again, Wrexham making a bit more history. But hopefully we've got maybe the momentum. We can use the momentum that we've got and that confidence boost now.
Well, we can stick the ball into the box now. That's cutely worked. Knox has done well to ride that attempt to pull her shirt and pulls it back into a decent area as well. And that's Ghazalian trying to deal with a defensive situation. Having said that, well, we were open for a moment. Francis Jones has to be alert and gets the ball back safely enough to Craven.
Yeah, I think we're just our sort of like our rest defence when we're in that bit of a transitional moment. I don't think we're looking quite secure. Like if we lose it and they counter quickly, which is what they're trying to do, I don't think we look really secure with that back line at the minute.
Well, that's a poor touch. Oh, Suckley was unlucky. Typical diagonal run in front of her by Barker, and Suckley was the right idea. This is an open game. Ghazalian inaccurate. Throw goes Wrexham's way, to the amusement of the Wrexham supporters. Looking at them as well, there's a lot of positional rotation in games that they played, and I mean, this team here now and the way they're lining up, a lot of players not where I'd seen them play in previous footage. But Dalian's been more of a holding midfielder, but she finished that goal superbly. Phew. Take a breath. Barker does well though. Suckley. Driving forwards at Asatarian. It's done really well to get through. Now then, Wrexham, since going behind, we've really got the bit between us. Francis Jones, that's good. Little lucky bounce as well, and good strength. Foul given. Well, actually, the way she was running back made me think that maybe she thought she'd committed a foul, to be fair. But I think this game, there's not going to be the same laissez-faire approaches in the referee this morning, who let a lot of physical contact go.
No, I mean, Pyunik are probably, if they feel that the momentum getting away from them, Wrexham are getting on top, they're going to probably try find ways to slow it down a little bit. So a little bit of a push, they'll probably make a bit of a meal of it, and it's just whether or not the ref pulls for it, like she didn't before when Maria tackled that player cleanly, so hopefully the ref keeps on track with that as well.
Well, for our sake, definitely let's hope so. Certainly, like I said, the Norwegian ref this morning was very, very good and just basically allowed physical contact, allowed strong challenging, as long as it wasn't malicious, threw yellow cards in, wasn't scared to buck players when necessary. But I thought controlled that game extremely well. Oh, it's a edgy moment. Phoebe Davis, big challenge, but we are still looking very open at the back. Harvey does really well, and she's quickly trying to organise the defence and tell them to step up. Here is Lourdes Roberto. Tempting pass, and Francis Jones can't afford to lose that there, but Davis, well, she does that for a living, doesn't she? Apart from a day job. Danger again here, though. And Craven, good hands. Well, after the goal coming from her pass out, good to have a nice, safe take like that.
Yeah, I think as a goalkeeper, it's really important you keep your head and keep calm, especially if it's early on in a game. But you as well, as a personal point of view, you want to make sure your next touch is a good one. So unfortunately, as a goalkeeper, sometimes you're waiting a while for it, so she'll be grateful for that, and hopefully she'll just crack on with the game.
Wow, it's already breathless. 1-1 here at the racecourse. Like I said, this is a historic game. It's the first goal a Welsh team has scored in Europe for 6 years. That's good. Now then, Knox running at Roberto again, dumps her on the floor again. That's brilliant, beautifully timed pass, but just too much on it. And Barker quite rightly applauds the intent. Just a fraction too much, or she'd have been through on goal. A difficult pass to play. Nearly nailed it.
Well, which one is the Brazilian? I'm not too sure. Is it Faye Knox or is it Lourdes? She's just so good in those sort of situations. That decision making, it's just innate. She just knows what she's going to do. She doesn't have to even take a split second, and so difficult to defend players like that because you just know in your head they can embarrass you like that.
It is gripping, fascinating. Wrexham representing Wales so well already. Barker does well to win the ball back. Bartle. Jones, that's nice. She's available for the return as well. Suckley finds Jones. Oh, looking for the killer ball. The movement was so good then. And Knox just driving in from wide.
Yeah, I think because of how beautiful the pitch looks tonight, it's a carpet, but anything that's skidding off the surface is going to fly. So we really need to look after the weight of the pass, especially when you're playing a direct pass forwards through to the back, towards the goalkeeper. You just got to weight it perfectly. But the intentions are there, and you can see what we're trying to do.
And both sides look quite open. As that's a poor pass. Frances Jones coming forwards. Ooh, underhit that ball to Lily Jones though. Typically she's dogged, stopping the ball from coming forwards. Here is Scario, the Argentinian. Poor contact. And again, Phoebe Davis just snapping into the challenge. Hashtag Europhoebe. Oh, it's a tight area to try that pass, and good pressing as well. Suckley does well. Barker getting kicked from behind by Scario. Does really well. Lily Jones. Knox has come across and demands it. Receives it. Scario slips. Knox. That's good. Oh, what a dribble. Typical. That's a great ball in. Keep it. Good punch. Like I said, Lockwood is very, very decisive and aggressive in the air. Here is Bartle though. Good pressure. This from Wrexham. That's a hell of a ball. Frances Jones knocks still over on the right-hand side, and Reedford's made a good move, but Suckley lays off beautifully. Barker hits it, unlucky. We are looking constructive. I mean, we've got players who can take on and beat defenders, and they're struggling with that.
Yeah, and I think Wrexham have just sort of found the sort of pace of the game and getting those passes a little bit more accurate now in the last few minutes. But again, it's a really nice move, really nice little touch. I'm not sure if Suckley does actually get the touch on it, but that's where it intends to go. And then Katie Barker again getting another shot on goal. Really positive from Wrexham, but I agree with you, Mark. It's a really nice run as well on the outside by Reedford.
Karapatian closed down by Reedford. That's good work by her and Knox.
I just love how fluid that front three is. You just see how Knox ends up right on that right-hand side in Katie Barker's position, but they're just so intelligent to read each other's play, and they can just be reactive off each other. That's not necessarily a plan, and that's so difficult to defend.
Yeah, you can tell they've got that connection, haven't they? And when a unit in certain units, you want them to have strong connections. If our front three are having those connections, and because they've got to make these decisions quickly, their movement to passes, whether they're going to shoot, whether they're going to cross, and they've all got to do it quickly. So if they're on the same wavelength, we're gonna make success. We're gonna cause problems.
Bartle has to be quick just to recover then, but does so. Now she turns and is put under pressure. That's good calm play by the skipper. Apology from Davis after it slips away from her. Broken team, aren't they? At times, Pyunik. 6 players committed to this, 4 standing on the halfway line, like a school match. Here's Barker again. Space in midfield. Good change of feet by Smith, but she overruns it. Again, it's Gazarian, but this time not accurate. Davis as well, and here's danger. Barker beats Scario. Oh, it's good. Now then, it's opening up for Knox. Knox has got Suckley running through, and Roberta just got enough of a contact to put her off, but Wrexham relentless. Frances Jones, Suckley's beyond the far post and marked. Just didn't manage to pick out a teammate, but Wrexham will keep it coming. Here's Harvey. Knox has now floated back into between the lines, but Reedford's taken up a nice position. Good turn again by Suckley. She can switch this. She does this. So narrow defensively. Plenty of time here. Good ball in. Barker can't get there. Neither can Reedford. Goodness me, I did not expect us to open them up like this so consistently.
No, and that's the problem when as if you're playing a back four against a back five, it's really difficult to make those decisions if you're going to go inside, especially, like we said, with how fluid Wrexham's front three are. Those fullbacks are already occupied, so they need their midfielders to come round. The problem with that is you've then got two very good players on the ball in Lily Jones and Josie Smith, so it's your decision making, what's more important. And at the moment, Pyunik, they just can't make those decisions correctly, and that's why Maria Francis-Jones and likewise Reedford on this other side, they just need to go when they get the opportunity.
Yeah, and I think our two wing-backs are keeping the width really, really well, and that's why when we're getting into these areas we can maintain the attack if the first course doesn't work.
Arca did well then. I tell you what, I don't think these new defenders, 3 of the back 4 are new players making their debuts today, and the keeper. Those defenders are not enjoying this. Scario, the Argentinian, is looking constantly to win little individual battles and not winning them. Both Barker and Knox have got past her a couple of times.
Again, it goes down to connections. You want certain units in your team to be connected, and if these are brand new players that just come in and different languages as well, it's really difficult. And if you're under the cosh as much as they are now, and if this is how the game's going to go, it's going to be really difficult to defend and communicate to each other.
Craven goes long, Knox touches it on. And that'll give Wrexham a chance to get up the pitch. Gosh, yeah, it's breathless, this. So, Roberto getting it back, and she has Karapatian up the line, but Reedford's, well, penalised, but she wasn't going to allow her to get a turn in there. I do apologise, I said get in touch on Ask Wrexham, and I haven't read any of them because I'm too excited by this match. I do apologise. Not the first time, let's be honest. We do have Sherry's flags flying. In fact, I put one right in front of Ryan Reynolds' seat just so that, it gets its rightful spot. Here is Scario. Chip Pate, quite right, has corrected me on Ask Wrexham. 2021, Chloe Chivers last time a Welsh player scored in Europe. As here is Francis Jones dispossessing. There's here a player for a Welsh team. Bartle now. That's good, ambitious ball. Knox can't quite take it. Harvey, solid and accurate. Smith, oh, hello. Very nice. Remember, he's a Carl Connolly to people as old as me. And here's Harvey doing well. Scario had to get there first. Karapatian just giving it straight back. And they're the number 22, like I said, that legendary international for them. Gazarian. That's overhit. Davis gets it away. Sorry, Gutassian, beg your pardon. Now then, Suckley trying to run in behind. Scario certainly wasn't stretching to get there. But yeah, it's such a jump into the unknown. It's great to see us able to respond and put up a show like this against a team that's been in Europe before, who won a game in Europe last season against Sofia, the Bulgarian champions. That's a good burst again by Francis Jones. Scario comes across. For those of you watching the World Cup, I would say Scario in many ways is in the mould of the Argentinian centre-backs in that squad. Gary Neville describing Romero and Martinez as the best-worst combination. Front foot aggressive defending, but it's all or nothing. You either win the ball or you're miles out of position. Davis, little nudge, clever nudge by Scario, but a poor header away then. Again, his players getting left behind by a change of feet. That's a good ball in. Suckley's brave. The referee gives a foul for, let's be honest, and 2 keepers out of 3 getting punched in the head. Let's be frank.
I'm a goalkeeper through and through, but I don't agree with stuff like that. Both of them have arrived towards the ball at the same time. Ava's only got eye for the ball. That's not a foul. at all.
Like I said, the ref this morning was very good and allowed plenty of stuff to go on in crowded goal mouths. Only gave fouls when you could see the keeper was genuinely impeded on just coming into a crowd and getting into trouble. That's a late tackle, that. Do we ever get, I mean, we got a corner, but I mean, could I ask the question, do we get any free kicks? Because the ref's been quite quick to penalise us, but that was a late challenge, it looked like to me.
Oh yeah, very late. She's had a couple of tough hits as well in the last 5-10 minutes as well.
I think it was Gurkasian, the veteran. Wouldn't be a total shock to see them wanting to make an impact on a player like Knox, who has been tearing into them. That's where you want a referee to start acting. Anyway, corner from the right-hand side. The Pyunik bench are really aerated. And referee getting involved. You didn't see any of that rule change in the World Cup where you can just give a foul before the balls come in, which I've got to say, to me, isn't really a logical rule change, but nonetheless, they could easily have done it.
I will just never understand this bit. I don't understand why they don't just let it play. If there's a foul, then you blow. I don't understand the pause. I just think it kills all momentum, mostly going in probably favour of the attacking side, which in this sense possibly is a good thing in our favour. But yeah, don't understand that one.
Well, let's see what happens then. Ball swept in. That's a good ball in. Oh, unlucky. Wow, I mean, it was a great climb. I think it was Smith, wasn't it, who got the final touch? Well, that was a close thing.
I mean, looking at the players, looking at our players, we have more height in our team, so if we can take opportunities on attacking set plays where we can deliver into the box, we should, just looking at the height difference, should make more first contacts than not.
Certainly, I know I'm being a bit stereotypical, but we saw a Western European team against an Eastern team this morning, and Glentoran were consistently getting first contact and set pieces. Barker, well then. My question is, do you start giving cards now?
But it's getting to that point. There's been a few challenges now where, listen, there's solid, and then there is a little bit reckless and dangerous as well. That line, might be starting to just get a little bit crossed. But I'm sure that's the conversation Jodie Bartle's having with the referee at the moment, just saying, how many is it going to be? Because that's something for the referee. She needs to make sure she's not, going over the sort of counter and making sure there is rightful punishment for some of these challenges flying in.
Well, I'll try and stop saying this about the referee this morning, but she was not scared to get cards out early, and funnily enough, it meant players behaved themselves. I mean, just give what you see, whereas this referee is a bit more the traditional, I'll try and let play flow and not book people, but Scario's conceding a lot of fouls. Now then. Free kick, shooting position. Knox is on it. Knox has a go, and it doesn't quite have enough height on it, but Wrexham are knocking at the door here.
Yeah, I think it just needed a bit more pace on it to try and make the goalkeeper work a little bit harder.
There's Roberto complaining, but again, to me, she doesn't look massively up to the pace of the game. Like I said, she's just been playing in the second division in Brazil. The Pyunik website was saying that they signed her from Portugal. She has been playing in the second division in Portugal, but hasn't been getting games, and she'd gone back and played a season in Brazil in between. Again, Barker is really doing well. Scario timed that well. Here's Harvey. That's a very hard challenge from behind. Just thought the ref's been just giving when people go down. And that is a nice little touch by Gazarian, who's available for the return pass and latches onto it. She's dangerous, and it wasn't the worst idea taking it early, but didn't get any contact on that.
No, it wasn't a bad idea, but they were bursting forward. You maybe get the feeling this could be the sort of script for the rest of this game, as Wrexham have managed to get a higher average position. You know, is that going to be Pyunik's sort of idea of playing on that counter-attack? Because again, they showed a lot of pace.
So here again, Barker. Composed once more. Lily Jones, Frances Jones is going again down the flank. She's been getting into such advanced positions. Scario. Bukazian. She is a very skillful player, lovely feet. She's making herself available again. Here's a second pass, but Scario's giving it away. Suckley! Now that's got to be a card. That's got to be a card. Yes, thank you very much. But Scario, well, she's playing on the edge, isn't she?
Yeah. I mean, if you got a centre back who's committing that many fouls, and they're not even like harsh calls by the ref. They're all like late challenges, and she's really going through our players. So if I'm their manager, I'll be thinking about a possible substitution at half time if you want to keep 11 players on the pitch. Because the way she's going, I mean, I hope she stays on the pitch. But from a football point of view, I'm guessing their manager might have a think about getting her off.
You say you hope she stays on the pitch. I don't mind if she gets sent off. Obviously, that'd be all right. Yeah, no, I'd take that. Well, Frances Jones certainly spotted this up, as if to say to Faye Knox, you had the last one, I want this one. And Knox does leave. Oh, it's cute, Barker! Oh, big block, that's a hell of a block. It hurt. Gukasian's not up as Frances Jones, a good shape, and that's Scario only as far as Harvey. And that's another excellent block, and a possibility now, Gukasian's still down, of a breakaway until an excellent foot in by Reedford. And another hard challenge, and the referee
got the ball on that one there.
Well, the throw, I think, is it, goes Wrexham's way.
Just again though, on that chance from the free kick, it's a really nice idea. The ball is just slightly behind Katie Barker, whether it's the ball's fault or does she maybe go a little bit too soon, and then her touch just takes it again that little bit behind her, and she just has to turn and then try and still get the power on the strike. But it's really good defending on the two occasions, two really good blocks, just pace, getting out to that ball, making sure their goalkeeper has nothing to do.
Well, on Ars Wrexham, I can tell you that definitely lost a lobster, and I've seen a picture of him. He's not a lobster. Has taken the day off work. Well done to watch this match with his 10-year-old niece, Riley, and she's been making up songs for Wrexham players all day and has come up with an absolute corker, rhyming Craven with Raven. I like this. Liz Craven, quick as a raven. That's quality. I really want to know who you rhymed Frances Jones with. That would have been a challenge, wouldn't it? Keep the good work up, Riley. Brilliant. Reedford back to Harvey. Early and too strong. If required, this game will go to extra time and penalties. Here is Fight. Barker won't give her much time. She's put a testing ball in, but Davis is there. Craven. Suckley now, she can get the flick. Well, she dropped it into the other channel. Knox might have got there, as is Barker's pace allows her to get there. Knox will keep that in. That was a case of looking to buy a free kick. Karapatian. Drills it into the bread basket. Referee telling Knox to cut it out. She wanted a free kick. I think the previous challenge down there, she had a case. That one there, not so much. Yeah. She looks, and again, typically too strong. Good work. Overhit for Suckley. Scario gets there first. Thought that could have been left for a goal kick, but Luisa Roberto rescues the situation. Very, very impressive first half from Wrexham, who got increasingly on top of the game as it's gone along. And on the balance of play, I'm disappointed we haven't got a lead by now, if I'm honest. Ball just skipping up a little bit, didn't help Ghazarian, and Wrexham get the... they actually got the throw. Linesman had the flag in the wrong hand for a moment. Bartle, the studied header to Lily Jones, that's good. We are finding joy down this right-hand side. And that's a good ball, Suckley. It was not the easiest, there wasn't much pace on it to make the header, but again, finding space in the penalty area, which is never a bad thing when you're going forwards.
No, it is a difficult header, even for someone of Ava Suckley's quality in the air, especially from how far out she is. And like you say, there wasn't too much pace on the ball. But again, she's winning that first contact, and she's done that so many times. And, when you think about someone like Natasha Thomas on the bench today as well, who we also know is a very good, sort of out-and-out number 9 who can do that sort of thing. I think that's really exciting for, if she's going to come on later in this game as well.
Rathbone's warming blanket on Ars Wrexham, saying, love seeing Lizzie recover so quickly with that catch earlier from the pass. And yeah, exactly. As the free kick goes maybe generously Pyunik's way. It's absolutely true, but that has been a consistent quality that she's shown since she came to Wrexham. She doesn't let things dwell in her mind. She cracks on with the next incident.
Yeah, and it's incredibly important as a goalkeeper to have that attribute, and it's a lot harder than probably most people think to hone that attribute as well. So yeah, credit to Liz. And
that's awkward for Reedford, but she's done well to block off Astarion. Torika forwards, Astarion popping it inside again. This is the dangerous Ghazarian. That's a good pass as well. The flag went up. I'm not so sure that was offside myself. It looked onside to me, but off target anyway.
Yeah, it was certainly tight. I wasn't sure either, to be honest. Very, very happy and relieved to see that flag go up. But again, you can just see Pyunik, they haven't really shown it in the last sort of 25 minutes or so, but they have got quality in these final third positions, and it certainly was tight. Really nice little through ball. She gets the finish wrong anyway.
I think Baltimore Wrexham fanatic speaks for all of us in saying on Ars Wrexham, flipping heck, this is fun. Come on, you Reds. It is a really high-paced game, and clearly Pyunik are high quality. But hey, so are we. We do have the likes of Natasha Thomas to come on if required. They've got a very strong bench, Wrexham. Reeford sticking to the task. Good pressure out. Wrexham just cutting off the angles, reducing the space, using that touchline as an extra player in the press. And they had nowhere to go, Pyunik. It's a real battle, this, and Suckley's too strong. Ghazarian, nice skill. Harvey. That's a good contact on that. Knox climbed on. Jenny Sugarman asked him for the foul, not given. Well, the ref can hardly give that, having not given Knox a few. Again, tries to kill a pass, it's ambitious. But you can't criticise her because she does actually pull that sort of pass off sometimes, doesn't she?
Yeah, I just think as a through ball, if you're playing it a direct, straight central ball, it's very hard to get right. And like you said, she has got it in her locker to do it.
Oh, Frances Jones caught in possession by Ghazarian, but Ghazarian has the shot. Good cover that to get the block in. Yeah, the straight ball through the middle is always less than a percentage option, isn't it? But having said that, Knox can play those sort of passes, even though they're very difficult. And as well, that cliche about, if you've got a big player up front, you keep being tempted to knock it long. Well, with Parker's pace, you must be in a position like that in midfield, tempted to think, if I can just roll this in, she's going to be through. Her pace maybe encourages her sometimes to try passes that are not really on.
Yeah, and I think even with someone like, if you're trying to get Ava in as well, because Ava's quick, but Ava's also very, very physical, so if it is a little bit close and she's got to go into the duel, you can fancy her to come out of it quite well.
It is Suckley battling for that. Into the last 5 minutes of the half. And Wrexham should be very happy with how they're doing. And also Frances Jones does excellent work, not just to win it, but to keep it. What can Smith do? She sees the pitch is open to her left. Reedford, oh, picked the wrong option. She thought Knox was going to try running behind, but I think, well, maybe when she's been with us a bit longer, she'll realise that Knox drops off and wants it there to turn and get it onto her right foot. Pyunik are completely full-time. Whether that will make some impact as the game goes on, but then Wrexham's conditioning has always been impressive, even when we were not boasting any professional players in our ranks. And we're starting to accumulate a few pros now. Harvey, good pressure and good foot in as well by Smith. Now then Knox does well. Only Suckley in the middle. And she's done well to win that throw. She calls Harvey off the throw. Looks for options. Now then, that's into a nice area. Suckley gets it well, and we should get, again, decent delivery in there. We're asking the questions.
Yeah, it's good defending from Pyunik, just to make sure they've got a couple bodies round Ava Suckley, so she just can't get that clean header on that ball.
Jarvis is claiming an assist on the Wrexham goal because he just joined the Ask Wrexham stream as the goal went in. So if you could, switch off wherever you're watching it on, Jarvis, go for a walk and come back. Hopefully we'll be ahead at half time. Chip Pace has put in a long list of rhyme options for Frances Jones for Riley. Oh, Knox, unlucky. That was a lovely drag back like Dracula's hairstyle. I've got to say, Chip, speaking as an English teacher, they're great rhymes, but they're masculine rhymes, one-syllable rhymes. I want feminine rhymes, or at least more than one syllable that rhymes, okay? Just to set the challenge. The way I'd explain to people to remember that is men aren't very intelligent, so therefore masculine rhyme is only one syllable. I could have been just speaking for myself there. Phoebe Jones as well. Davis, rather. See? Phoebe Jones, I don't know what I'm talking about. Lily Jones can't come out with the ball. And the flag goes up. And again, I'm not too sure about that. It was tight. 1 minute of added time. Considering the physio had been on, that's clearly not as much as it should be, but hey.
Just again, I think Wrexham just need to be careful on those turnovers. I think maybe she just is leaning off. It is probably a very good line by Wrexham to make sure they are, set up where they need to be. But again, just another warning just on those little half counters. That they just need to make sure they've got that line, which on that occasion they obviously did.
Craven knocking it long. Come back again. Last attack of the half, surely. Smith, oh, that's great vision. Reedford has space once more. Knox. Again, won't get that. Didn't ask for it, to be fair. And the Stallions able to tidy that up. Lure to Roberto. Good work, Reedford. Touch tight, and that is the last action of Wrexham's first half in the Champions League, and a very satisfying one. I've got to say, I'm very, very happy with that. That was a really good performance. Although I will say, just to pick up on what you were saying a moment ago, Mia, although I would argue we've had more of the ball, we've looked more threatening, we frankly, I think, deserve to be ahead. We haven't killed them off, and they had clearly got a goal threat, haven't they? Either by getting in behind us or just by the fact they clearly have got good technical quality. We need to finish them off.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that does really please me though in that sense is I think we do look sharper. I think we do look fitter. Obviously we talked about those relationships in Pyunik's back four as well, but I do think at times they've been a little bit catching their breath. They haven't quite been able to get up to the speed of Knox, of Suckley, and obviously Barker, and that's obviously playing in Wrexham's favour. But yeah, I think Jenny Sugarman will be on the most part, very happy with that first half, especially, again, how many times do we say it, that mentality to concede, especially the manner of how they've conceded as well early on, in I think it was the 9th minute, to then immediately go up the other end and say, no, you're in our ground, we don't do things like this here. And obviously Katie Barker doing what Katie Barker does best. And yeah, I think they've been really impressive. They've certainly grown into the game, and obviously a big second half to come.
There's certainly that sense for me of, we're stepping into know how good will they actually be. I feel as we walk off the pitch, Pyunik must be having the same feeling of, okay, we didn't realise Wrexham were going to be like this. It's really pleasing for us to take the games like this, and like I said, the one thing it's lacking is a finish for the second goal.
Yeah, and I think, look, we're in it's a Champions League game, so you're expecting, no matter what the unknown was, you're expecting a competitive game on both sides, and they want to come and upset and spoil the party because we're at home, and we want to do well because it's the first time we're here and we want to make history and so on. But I think the game's wide open for both teams, I'll be honest, but I do think we look more threatening and we're a little bit more organised when we're creating our attacks as well, whereas like Mia said before, they're more probably in the transitional moment when they just catch us out, lack of concentration or catch us out of shape. That's when they're most dangerous. But I think, like you said, the back four, when they can't quite catch their breath, Pyunik, when they can't catch their breath, if we can sustain that pressure and go, if one attack doesn't work, can we go again, they're going to get tired, they're going to foul, or they're going to get tired, not be as quick, and we get more clear shots at goal.
Well, that's what I thought. Some of the really poor challenges that we saw on the edge of the box, listen, they're poor challenges, but I think part of that comes from that lack of sharpness, where she's gone in on maybe mid-season, she's probably winning majority of those, but I think today, when maybe obviously we don't really know how many competitive / non-competitive games they've played, so it's hard for us to actually tell and judge, but for me personally, it looks to me like she is maybe, and not just her, but a few of the Pyunik players are missing that little bit of sharpness, and that means they're just a few seconds off, and that's where I just put Wrexham, just marginally ahead in that sense.
Well, I'm not going to name names, but certainly somebody who knew what they were talking about suggested that we expected them to bring in some ringers, shall we say. That was a word that was used, and it does seem a bit suspicious, but yeah, some of their players they are brought in don't look quite up to speed. We have no idea what their preparation has been. There is zero information about whether they've had friendlies. They do have the same league as us in terms of ending in May, but yeah, they have kept things very quiet. It must be said as well, I'm talking about us being in Europe, and indeed we are in Europe, but I should just as a pedantic point, but I think a relevant one, point out that we are not playing a European team. Armenia is not in Europe, it's in Asia. And my assumption is that when the Soviet Union split up, UEFA must have said to the Western republics, because Russia were in UEFA, would you like to stay in UEFA? Because countries like Kazakhstan as well, Armenia, Georgia, who were in the European Men's Championships finals, they are Asian countries. It's quite a strange sort of setup, but these guys certainly have been able to fly under the radar.
Yeah, absolutely. But what we knew it would be competitive. We know that they're showing a bit of fight and character at times when they want, and we know that they can be dangerous. So Wrexham can't come out complacent. They got to be ready to go, and they got to bring the same energy that they did. The moments after when they reconceded and re-scored, probably those sort of 10 minutes we were probably at our best. They're playing quick football, getting loads of numbers forwards, and they just couldn't handle it. So we need to find that sort of moment and momentum again, but can we make it last longer so we can got more of a chance of getting some goals? We've seen in the game already, but when I watch him in the warm-up, their keeper's quite good. Amber Lockwood, she looks good, she moves well, her handling, her footwork, everything. She commands her box well. But what's she like when she's under pressure, when she's getting peppered? That's what we need to look at.
Well, we've enjoyed this first half enormously, but to misquote Once in a Lifetime by the Talking Heads, how did we get here? I'll tell you how. By absolutely blowing away the rest of the Adran Premier last season. So sit back, relax and enjoy a compilation of the high points of Wrexham's glorious 2025-26 season. Good days, good times. What a lovely walk down memory lane from, a month ago? That was brilliant stuff. But wow, we got so much to look forward to this season. As you all know, it's a joy for me to be covering this team. I love it. But yeah, they've given us so much, and there's so much more to come, and hopefully so much more to come today as well. Don't forget that regardless of the result, there'll be another game on Saturday here. The third place game for the losers of this match will be up against Glentoran, and then the winners against Riga, who look tasty, but then so do we. I've got to just quickly, before we go back to this match, say Dave Chilcott has raised a really nice point here. In terms of the men's game in Tampa, Florida. Looking ahead to Saturday, when was the last time Wrexham played in a stadium that has a pirate ship? That's a fair question. It's a very fair question. England played there, didn't they, in a pre-World Cup match against New Zealand, and it's got a pirate ship as a part of the stand. So I do remember being shocked the first time we went to Histon in non-league. That was a small ground, a small club. I was a little shocked to see an ice cream van parked on the side of the pitch in the Wrexham game. That startled me, I've got to be honest. But yeah, pirate ship. I think we just missed that. I think Gulliver's World was relegated from the National League the season before we went there. Oh, my lads used to love going to Gulliver's World, a theme park thing. But I used to look at it, and he was like 6 and loving it. And I was looking at it thinking, am I going to get sued for saying this? Let's find out.
I don't know what you're going to say.
Rusty rides. I mean, rusty rides. I'm just saying.
I prefer Alton Towers, so.
Fair enough. Depressingly, thanks for leading me into this. I am so old that my mum and dad took me to Alton Towers when it first opened as an amusement park, but it was because of Jaws. I wasn't allowed to go and see Jaws with my cousins because I was only about 7. And I was annoyed, but quite frankly, they were right. But there was to cash in, Alton Towers launched with come and see a live shark. They had a shark in a tank in Alton Towers. We drove there. It was before they built the M54, depressingly. So it took ages, it felt like ages to get there. We queued up for ages to get into this room to see it. And it was about 6 inches long. It was like a dogfish. It was hugely depressing. And the real thing that shows how ancient I am, there was one ride, a very basic roller coaster. That was it in Alton Towers then.
Wow.
Right, I'm going to go away and cry in a corner. But there's been some good analysis of this game on Ask Wrexham as well. As Rathbone Warming Blanket saying, such good ideas, just a couple of hitches in execution. Still looking a little edgy, but calming into it very nicely. Pyunik, a physical team, Wrexham dealing with it extremely well. And Patrick Kelleher replies, we've grown into this match, looked a better squad. The pressure is steady with another result looking to be inevitable. Careful, Patrick. One of those set pieces will pay off, I think. We certainly have been... I mean, for me to put it this way, we're having duels in their penalty area. 50-50s, in terms of outcome. That shouldn't really be happening. A back four, a back three wants to be winning the majority of the balls that are coming in, but we are getting first contact on a lot of them, or we are creating loose balls. So every time the ball goes in the box or around the side, which we've managed to do successfully a few times, we look very threatening, don't we?
Yeah, we do, and I think again it comes back to, we've mentioned it a few times now, but just Pyunik's back four, they don't look like they've got those relationships, and that might sound quite basic and quite simple, but if your left back or your right-sided or right back or whoever's alongside you, if you know their sort of usual position and if they want to go, if they like to maybe sit back a little, that makes such a big impact, and especially in huge important games like today. Yeah, I just think Wrexham, if they've just got to take advantage of those moments, because we have had too many moments in that first half where you're sort of just looking at thinking, I hope I don't come back to regret one of them.
The team's coming back out. Wrexham to a rousing response. Steve Coonsley is flying with the rhymes from Maria Francis-Jones, rhyming homophones from Maria Francis-Jones. Very, very, very nice. I mean, I got to say, from a professional perspective, at least a B+ GCSE, that is very, very good stuff. But Wrexham, I've got to finish this job off now. We do have quality on the bench, don't we? A lot of quality. Natasha Thomas obviously needs minutes in her legs, but she's got class, and there's a lot of players down there who could make an impact as this game wears on.
Yeah, I mean, we've got quality in terms of technical, tactical magicians in there. You've got Nat Clark and Liv Fuller, who have got probably more of the senior players in the team, but the experience and the levels and the teams and leagues they've played in over the years, I mean, they're the sort of players you want to come in just to give the team a little bit more of a boost from a leadership point of view. Obviously you got Natasha Thomas, who what a coup for us to sign from Ipswich, an absolute legend from Ipswich as well by all accounts. So I'm really looking forward, hopefully see her get a run out and see what her eye for goal is. And then obviously big one's me, Michaela Cook. I'm really looking forward to seeing her play in person in a Wrexham shirt, because for me I thought she was one of the best players in the league last season, without a doubt Cardiff best player probably the last 2 seasons in my opinion, and I mean she got Champions League experience as well, so I think she's someone that we can sort of rely on as well. And what we know about her as well is she wants to win and she's super competitive, and hopefully she comes on and she scores, she gives an knee slide for us instead now as well. So it'd be really good to see a Wrexham knee slide.
For me, I can't help thinking Maria Mahmood must be sitting there watching Knox and Barker dribbling through and Francis-Jones dribbling past defenders and thinking, hey, I can dribble. I wouldn't mind having a go at these. I could do that. But yes, Pyunik took a while to come out, but they are out. And it's time to see, can Wrexham pick up where we left off and do something for the ages? I don't like hyperbole from commentators, but this does feel remarkably significant. The men's team last played in Europe in 1995, actually went to the away leg in Romania. That was an experience, that was. Not least because I was sent out there by a defunct radio station who didn't bother to put anything together at that end. It was before mobile phones, so they paid for me to go, and I just went and did nothing because I couldn't do anything. Substitution lined up by Pyunik. Yeah, Karim Yegyan is going to come on at half-time. And it is Lourdes Roberto, the Brazilian right-sided defender, who's come off. So Yegyan comes on, the namesake of the number 17, the centre-back and captain. And she has gone over onto the right-hand side. Looks like they may have... Oh, no. For a moment, I was wondering if they'd shifted shape at the back to 3, but they've been playing 3 at the back as far as we're aware, but it's more of a 4, wasn't it, in the first half?
Yeah, I think it was quite interchangeable, especially with the ones ahead. In moments, they were a bit of a 4-2-4, which, you know, was leaving them quite open, especially in the middle of the park. So it'd be interesting to see if that does change at all in this second half.
So here we go again. Good foot in immediately by Suckley, and then Jones. Wrexham showing that they want to pick up where they left off. Testing ball down the line is handled quite well, actually, to be fair. Pyunik knocking the ball around confidently. It's nicely done. It's very nicely done. Now, danger. Azatrian has got a bit of space, is moving towards the near post. That's comfortable enough for Craven. That was nice, sharp combination play on the left-hand side. Just reminding us what they can do. Davis. When they're looking to press like this, they have a 4-2-4 shape of 4 players up the pitch looking to put pressure on our back 3. And if we get through that press, well, they've got a double pivot totally isolated in the middle of the pitch, standing in front of a back 4, and that's where we are finding space and the opportunities to have one-on-one battles, and we're winning those one-on-one battles. Ref doesn't give it a free kick there. Lily Jones sees that only Ava Suckley is ahead of her, and she'll have to wait for support. Frances Jones being put under good pressure, but backs herself to be able to turn. That's a hard challenge coming in. Bedalian, the scorer, conceding the free kick, and across comes Knox to take it. So Wrexham attacking the Kop end, and isn't that coming along nicely? Frances Jones pulls it a bit. It's a poor enough clearance by Ghazalian to allow her to actually run onto her own clearance and try and break. Good play again by Barker. He looks such a bright spark. It's all quite narrow ahead of Harvey. And even then, nobody really offered. So she does a sensible thing.
Do you know what? It was a really good recovery run by Lily Jones to just stay with her. I know she didn't necessarily get too much of the ball, but she just makes sure that ball can't go anywhere forward, because there were one ongoing runner up front waiting for it.
It's good work by Smith. So a good game. Ooh, Suckley was caught, wasn't she, by Scario there? Yeah, free kick. Well, she's on a yellow. Needs to watch out. Not saying that's a yellow, but it's certainly, you know, arriving late and playing the player rather than the ball.
Well, it's another one on the tally, isn't it? So it just adds up, and I'm sure that's what Jodie Bartle will be saying again. Just ref, make sure you're counting them.
There's a comment on us Wrexham saying that the rest having a go at Bartle for complaining, and she's saying that, talking to you because they're flattening us. Yeah, that's a fair comment. Certainly Scario's pushed her luck. Knox is on this. Good high starting position by Lockwood. She won't be able to get to that as a looper, but and Lockwood's able to adjust. Bartle couldn't get over it. Here go the crowd again. Karapetyan lifting it over the top. Bartle back to Craven. Gets rid. Karapetyan out on the right has not had as much of an influence as I've seen in the past when she's played as a big central striker with quick feet. Here's Francis Jones now. And that's something for Barker to use their pace on. Good decision making by Lockwood. Scario really, I think, got in the way if she wanted to knock it long through the middle, mind. Barker. Oh, uses the bounce, unlucky. Good pressure, doesn't want to foul that, and good tackle. A fight, right, is able to let it go. Yeah, as I said, that Welsh clubs, it's not true that Welsh teams have never won in Europe at all. People saying that, looking basically at the history of the Adran Premier, which wasn't formed that long ago. Oh, hello, Lily Jones is in here. Not much in the middle. Yeah! Susie scores a worldie. Oh, Lily. She's one of our own. Look at that. That is superb. Remember that crazy goal 3 seasons ago out here against Swansea? She's just battered it in the big occasion to finish like that. Oh, that is brilliant, isn't it?
Wow, and what a person of all people to score an absolute screamer like that. No one, like Lily, Miss Wrexham, what a goal. I think the finesse of the shot as well. I think if you go with power on that, the keeper will save it. But she just managed to lift it with a little, just amount of pace. But the way that the ball's spinning, it, as a goalkeeper, it feels like the ball is in the air forever. And it's so hard to judge, and what a finish. And that's the sort of finish we need if we're going to get past this goalkeeper.
And she knows what she's doing as well, because she does have a little look up, because she sees there's no one else sort of offering for her inside that box. She knows what she's doing. It's so brilliant. And she is just one of our own, isn't she? What a moment.
You know, they were saying last week, the GOAT debate is over now. Messi is the GOAT. After seeing that, I'm not so sure. Oh, that was beautiful, wasn't it? Now then, we struck back well. What have Pyunik got? Well, they've got a free kick. Oh, what a goal that was, though. The moment it left her foot, you can just see it's perfect. Yeah. So that's a goal. Keeper's got no chance. It's just the most perfect finish. Right now, I'm loving football. Karapetyan.
Well,
we'll take this.
That to me just feels like an absolute... We've spoke about how big this game is, but oh, my word, I'm covered in goosebumps. I just can't believe what I've just seen.
1984. I was sitting in the previous stand that was here watching Jim Steele score the goal that beat Porto at that end. Wow, there's something to stand shoulder to shoulder with it. Karapetyan. Now Wrexham need to keep it up here. That's certainly dealt with well. But yeah, we've got to keep it up. There's more goals in this game if we keep pushing. No question tonight.
Yeah, and like we've just got to stay connected, and we've just got to keep our composure as well, because we know how threatening they are in transitional moments as well, and we know that they can be direct to goal, judging by their first goal. So we just keep our cool, keep our composure, but when we're creating our chances, can we sustain the pressure?
Precisely, that's good from Reedford, unlucky. Yeah, they are technical. And if we try to sit off them at all, they've got the players to punish us. We need to keep pushing on here, because we do look at a better team. Francis Jones, that's good, determined run again. She's had an excellent game up and down the right. Here's Lily Jones. Dispossessed by Badalian. And Phoebe Davis. Oh, she's not won that cleanly, though. Asatrian under-hit that pass. Badalian couldn't counter, but here is Asatrian again. Poor ball then. Yeah, they're just trying to push on a bit more. A couple of attacks down the left since going behind.
You said about Wrexham not sitting off, Mark, but that's exactly where the goal comes from. Their starting positions are really good. You saw how high Lily Jones was.
It's a horrible defender by Scario, and Suckley nailed that. Keeper got behind it. We were right behind that, and I thought she'd hit the bottom corner then, as you might have heard before you lost all feeling in your ears. Sorry about that. That's why you have 2 eardrums, isn't it, rather than 1. But I thought she'd scored a worldie there. And let's be honest, that is within her purview. Ava Suckley knows how to score great goals. That's good work again. Suckley's battling away.
Well, yeah, she's always going to take that on, isn't she? Katie Barker's made a really nice run sort of inside her, but you know Suckley in those positions, she fancies herself, and rightfully so.
Good work, Harvey stepping in, too strong for Ghazalian, and then doesn't make sure of the pass, but yeah, Suckley then. I just love, she's one of those players who can explode into a match, and it was quality, that strike.
But we mentioned it earlier as well, how special is it to see these players, you know, from Wrexham, have been at the club for such a long period of time, making, you know, taking their moment on in Europe. It's so special to see, and, you know, not many people would have predicted that, and fair dues to these girls for doing so.
That is very calm from Frances Jones, well done. Oh, Barker, goodbye. And great vision, what a pass that is. Now then, Reedford has got Suckley looking for the cutback. She's going to engage with Carpathian. Carried it a bit too far in the end. But good strength to win that ball back by Reedford.
I think they've learned from their first goal, don't let Faye Knox come inside your box, so they crowded her as soon as she cut inside.
Great tackle that. But of course, if they're going to do that, they're not going to have as many bodies forward to break. Wrexham in no huge rush. I quite like the new rule of counting down throw-ins, and she's started that earlier, which I think is right. A lot of the time, the referees in the World Cup didn't start counting down until someone picked it up, so just nobody picked it up. Oh, here's Barker, that's lovely, that's good. Now then, oh, it's a penalty, that's got to be a penalty, wow. Oh, I'm willing to be proven wrong by the replay, but that looks absolutely blatant. The ball was not in the same vicinity. I don't know, am I being biased? That looked clear.
Well, she definitely gets sandwiched, and
if that's not a penalty, I'm a banana.
Wow. How's that not a pen?
Yeah, I just think the one on the right hand side just goes through her slightly. I think maybe is it the 33 who sort of has control of the situation. Katie Barker, to be fair, she wants to get through there, but maybe there's just a little lean.
Yeah, no.
Like I say, Scario doesn't do things by halves. No. It's all or nothing, and I would argue that was nothing. That just came through Barker. I don't know. What do I know? What I do know is that since that goal 6 minutes ago, we have been knocking on the door, threatening. And there is Suckley winning another header. Knox on the chase. Karapatian under real pressure, gets a little bit lucky, but is strong, to be fair. And a great recovery by Knox. Well, not sure that's a foul, but it would have gone out anyway. It's gone out for a Pyunik's favour anyway. Just realised I haven't looked on Arse Wrexham to see the insane reaction to that goal. Tell you what, the crowd are making good noise here, aren't they? Pointing out the free kicks taken from the wrong place. They're doing their job. You wouldn't expect anything less from the Wrexham fans, who are so vocal supporting this team. And the team have put on a show. Davis does really well. Barker helped on nicely. Lily Jones only has one player ahead of her, and I think that was the issue. Suckley was making a run. Scario was aggressive. Down on the bench, Dave Williams is showing some tactics to Becca Saviuk. Like a little kid showing teacher his homework. She's pointing out, you forgot to carry the 2. Here's Fight. Oh, Knox causing problems for Karapatian. And it's not the best return ball. Great work. That Karapachin tries to buy the free kick. Ref doesn't buy it that time. Really good covering for his challenge by Kokori. The Japanese signing. Oh, Davis again going to ground. Great challenge. I think she felt she'd knocked it off Ghazalian.
Signature Phoebe Davis tackle that was.
Good touch by Lily Jones, and you can see what she was looking for there. Knox hadn't made the run in behind. Wrexham bloke has got a tragic plea that we'll talk about in a second. I don't think that went out, but both Pyunik players stopped to complain, and here we go. Suckley, no support. How early did Yezhan commit to that challenge? Then it was like Sol Campbell against Croatia, just sliding on the water. Wow. She was lucky Suckley didn't sidestep it.
That's what I thought. I thought for a second, could Ava have been a little bit clever and tried to play for something if she just knocked on that ball and taken a bit of contact, and maybe have a turn around, see if the referee's blowing a whistle for anything. But yeah, she did go early.
Natasha Thomas getting some instruction. Looks like she might be coming on soon. So here we go with the corner. The drummer's getting busy. It's into a good area. Good punch from the number 2. And that's drawn a bit of comment. A goalkeeper in number 2 shirt. I was saying to Del beforehand when I was a little kid, the 78 World Cup, the entire Argentina squad, which won it, was listed in alphabetical order with Ubaldo Fijol, the goalkeeper, at number 5. Ozzy Ardiles, the little bit midfield playmaker, number 2. Happy days. And then it grew up and it all went wrong. Suckley can't quite take that in her path. Thomas for Suckley is the obvious change in terms of like for like, but Suckley's having a very good game. That's good work. Again, non-stop Francis Jones. Is that Salloway being spoken to down there as well, I think? She looked very good at left-sided centre-back on Thursday. Knox look over the shoulder, so he's so aware of what's going on around her. He does well. Smith. And Harvey with the ball, which goes down the wrong channel. Yeah, Wrexham bloke gives us a tragic tale of those less fortunate than ourselves. Shout out to Dave, please, from LA. He's just joined us. I learned at halftime that they don't have sausage rolls. What evil is this? Can you imagine California, a barren land with no sausage rolls? It must be utterly heartbreaking. I should start a new religion, bringing Greggs to them. Here's Lily Jones, lovely interchange with Knox. There's great mates from their Welsh Youth International days, and they're linking up. They're loving this. Look at that, Jones. Good ball in. Keeper good to get hold of it. It's there. Suckley. Suckley makes it 3. Oh wow! But Knox and Jones were outstanding. Pyunik think there was a foul, but for once, Lockwood's handling wasn't great, and Suckley, I mean, fair play. It wasn't pretty, but you know, as I said to my wife, I'm not pretty, but I'm effective. And that's exactly what that goal was. Who cares? You score from an inch out, 3-1.
Well, Wales don't score in Europe. Do me a favour, Wrexham can score in Europe and buy some. Just again, it's really nice. Listen, it's a little bit scrappy in the end, of course it is, but Ava Suckley eats those for dinner every night of the week. They're saying it's a foul. I don't see too much. I don't know if she does have 2 hands on it at any point. I think there might just be a little claw. The defender tries to do her best, but Ava Suckley knows exactly what she's in there for. 3-1 Wrexham.
That's a typical number 9 poacher as well. You're on there. As soon as the ball goes in towards the goalkeeper, you want your number 9 following in, and that's the reason why. And I think Ava's efforts and work rate tonight, she deserves that. Yeah. She deserves that goal. And again, it's another Wrexham girl, born and bred, scoring for Wrexham in the Champions League. What is better than that?
I think Amber Lockwood will be disappointed with the first one, just not to hold on to that one, because Lily Jones doesn't it's a nice ball in, but she doesn't have too much pace on it, and she does just fumble that first one. But then the second bite of the cherry, you're not going to lose out to that one.
Foul given. That's a good effort. That's a great strike. Uncharacteristically, Smith was just dwelling on the ball, and she didn't ask for a foul, and Pyunik allowed straight back into the game. That's one hell of a hit. And again, the Wrexham fans instantly are making noise. That game, that third goal felt like we had just a grip on it. But just like we did in the first half, they got to go straight back.
Yeah, and again, it's a mistake from ourselves. It's not them breaking us apart. We've made a mistake in and around our box, and they've just gone direct and been ruthless about it. And again, a very well taken finish. But, I mean, we should have learned from the first goal. We don't want to make mistakes in those areas.
Great finish. I mean, great finish. Just so frustrating that both the goals we've conceded have come from situations we could have avoided. Still, we're still ahead.
But that's exactly why we said we had to take our chances further up on the pitch. And you know, you look at Lily Jones's goal, I think that's more individual skill, but the second one, certainly that's being clinical.
Harvey gets across well. Yeah, Ghazarian, the player, I said, the player of the year in the Armenian League last season. It's got to be said, although both goals have come about from errors by us, both finishes also were outstanding.
Yeah,
and they're good enough to punish that, which is the issue.
Yeah, and like you expect that at this level at the Champions League. No matter what country these teams come from, they're here for a reason. So we cannot rest. We cannot lack a single ounce of concentration, because it will bite us in the bum.
Knox did really well there, drawing the foul from Karapatian. And we have got Salloway and Thomas getting ready to come on, and Pyunik have also got a substitute getting prepared. But neither side will make a change instantly. It'll be Catalan coming on midfielder for Pyunik. So, drama, as always, in a Wrexham game. We looked like we were going to push on from 3-1. But there's a lot of football left if we are going to claim a place in the final on Saturday. Now then, well attacked by Reedford. Yegjan. Scario. It's just gone a little tense, but Lily Jones breaks the tension. Typical aggression. She's got Barker in support, and she wins the throw. Nicely done.
Well, Pyunik just have so little in that middle of the park, very little midfield, so every time they want to go forward, they need to really just be direct and hit that long one, which you kind of hope that back three of Wrexham can really cope with.
So here come the changes. Ava Suckley has been terrific. She is coming off, and I think Jodie Bartle, who, like I said, has been getting over an injury, yeah, she'll be the other player to make way. Salloway coming on. She hands the armbands to Lily Jones. Yeah, Bartle's still getting over an injury she picked up right at the end of last season. So Natasha Thomas for Ava Suckley. Scario sprinting off the pitch to allow the Pyunik change to be made, as Liv Fuller puts the bib over Ava Suckley's head like she's given her a gold medal in the Olympics. So Salloway will come into the back three. Harvey goes into the middle of that three. Salloway is left-footed, will go on the left. Straight swap, obviously, up front with Thomas. And here she is, holding that ball up well. Good strength to rob her in the end. Good tackle by the new skipper, Lily Jones. Good pressure by Barker. Outnumbered in the end, and she just clipped the defender. feet to take. Barker told to step back 10 yards.
I think Wrexham just need to keep doing what they've been doing, though. I don't think, you know, in some ways I do think attack is probably their best form of defence at the moment, because I just think you at this point in the game it feels like you just got to outscore your opponent rather than, you know, look after what you've already got.
Yeah, absolutely, because we have caused such problems. That's good, Reedford, good persistence. It's a very, very good recovery, but Reedford's got through. Now then, oh, really, to be fair, well read by Gukasian to just step in between two Wrexham players. And now the break is on. Asatrian wants it over the top. She made a good run between the centre-backs, but it wasn't spotted. That's a cracking pass, though, by Gukasian again. Egjan, the half-time substitutes. Good shape on it, but no one in there. Davis will have to be careful, and is careful, and that's a good ball to Barker. Nice layoff. Lily Jones with the return. Great idea. Barker now has got the pace to get through it past the veteran Gukasian, who sticks to her task well, but Barker now. Good movement by Thomas, and the space that's created finds Knox. Good effort. Unlucky. Lovely movement up front. Great interplay. Unfortunate.
No, I mean, like Mia alluded to it then, attack is our best defence, but only when we're attacking with pace. If we're quick and we're quick with our passes, we're quick with the ball at our feet, they can get nowhere near us, and that was just another sign of it, and that's how our game goals came from early on as well. So we've just got to attack with intent, attack with intensity.
Nice footwork in midfield, but a poor pass. Thomas, the ball just gets away from her. You can really see that she's just trying to get into the rhythm of play, isn't she? As she just clips Kazanian, the substitute who's just come on, is at centre back. Barker does well. Davis back to Craven. That's a good pass. Ghazalian lays it back, and Kogari, that's a ranging pass, and fight denied by Francis Jones. Corner though. You just feel that Wrexham have got more goals in them. It felt like we put the game to bed once already, though. Now we've got to try and do it again. Karapatian. He drops good set pieces in on the goalkeepers. They have two players a long way wide of the 6-yard box beyond the far post. Players attacking the centre, the penalty spot now. Lots of movements. Karapatian puts a nasty ball in, but it hung in the air too long, and Craven, safe hands. I think wisely doesn't deliver early. Barker was on her own. Referee starts to count it down, but she's dropped the ball to her feet, so that becomes null and void. Here is Salloway. Nicely done. Reedford allowing a lot of space again. That 4-2-4 shape in the press means that if Reedford makes that run, she's got the wing to herself. She'd be disappointed not to have got that pass past Karapatian. Smith, good work, but does too much in the end, and the chance now for a transition as Barker's working hard to cover for Smith. That's good work, just stopping the early pass coming forwards, because they had players ahead of the ball. Fight to Yezhian. Yezhian again, lifting it to her namesake. Good foot in again by Reedford. Knox now, only Thomas ahead of it. She goes round on her left foot for a change. Karapatian jockeys, and she's whipped that in. That'll stay alive. Francis Jones. It's got to pull back on. Lily Jones immediately in support. Francis Jones does well, hits the goal line. It's good delivery, just not quite enough on it for Knox. Reedford, well played. Knox now, what can she do? She gets on her right foot, can she finish? Oh, what a dribble! Can she finish? Oh, perfect until that right-footed shot. Goodness me, what a goal that would have been, but just couldn't quite put it on target. She's furious.
Well, exactly that. She does the really hard bit. Just nice again, that little bit of footwork that we've just become so accustomed to see with Faye Knox, and then she just goes for that little dink, the sort of perfect finish, and just slightly wide. I think there was about over 1,000 hands on heads at that point in time.
Oh, goodness me, that would have been something. Reedford, good pressure again. And Knox now on the chase. Karapatian will want some contact so she can go down. Knox hasn't obliged, she's done well, and lucky it doesn't drop for Thomas. And really, for me, and I think we saw this when she played there, I think Reedford very much a centre mid more than a wing back. We saw on last Thursday, where she's very neat on the ball, but she does a good job on the left. Having said that, let's look down and see Michaela Cook getting briefed by Jenny Sugarman. Understandably, maybe to have a specialist in for the latter stages. Negjan. The ball moved around as they look for a way out. Fight has done that well. A hurried pass, Francis Jones can't quite make it stick. Cook is going to come on now, I think. The fourth official is ready. Well, maybe not. Barker, who has run so hard, just getting some emergency electrolytes into her.
Well, I think just over the last few minutes, Barker's just gone that little bit deeper on Fight to make sure she can't be an outlet.
Well done, Francis Jones wins a corner. Lovely little flick that by Thomas. And we are, again, the team that are asking the questions. And Michaela Cook still waits as Wrexham set ourselves up for this. Barker at the near post, Lily Jones is on the keeper again. Aerial targets lurking beyond the penalty spot. Two players on the edge. And that's a decent ball in. Keeper doesn't get good distance on it. Nice idea by Barker. Looking to flicker over her shoulder, can't get much contact, but good pressure. Cook showing her studs to the fourth official and being interrogated by whether she got any ring or chains on round her neck. In fact, she did. She had to throw it to the bench. Francis Jones, not enough on it. Poor clearance. Barker can't quite tame it. That's a poor ball. And Lily Jones, well, she's going to win that. Knox dealt with well by Fight. So in the game this morning, there was a player called Oi, and now today there's a player called Fight. I do like these players who should have exclamation points at the end of their name. That's a great ball by Davis. And lucky, Yejan got across very quickly to cover. And now Cook will come on. And it is Smith who comes off, so I assume Reedford will come in one for Cook to go on the left.
Well, I think Josie Smith's been really good in this second half at just allowing. I think she's a great communicator in there and just has total control at times, and I think that communication, whether it's with Lily on her right hand side or Reedford on her left, it just allows them to know exactly when to go, when to stay. She's been really solid, but really good opportunity for Michaela Cook back at the Kairos, of course.
So Cook making her competitive debut, as is Thomas, who couldn't hold on to that. Good pressure by Reedford, who has stepped into that central position.
Yeah, and I think the central positions is more her natural, what she's used to, what she probably prefers deep down as well. And in my experience of having worked with her in the past and coached against her when she was at Man United Academy, I think that's where she played, and she's very good in that role. She'll be very physical, like we've just seen. She ain't going to let anyone go past her too easily.
Yeah, she's very comfortable with the ball at her feet, moves it quickly and accurately. Here is Francis Jones, Lily Jones. Oh, it's a great ball. Knocks on the right, couldn't quite take it cleanly. Poor ball back in though by Yegjan, the half-time substitute. So now here is Reedford. Knox just feeling a toe then, but here she is again. And again against Yegjan, she's too strong and holds her off twice as she tries to foul her. Digs out across, keeper's ball. Thomas gets ahead of her again. Well, I was saying, I was watching these clips and how good she was coming off her line and how aggressive in the air, but actually she's not been that happy in those situations.
No, but Wrexham are doing the right thing. You got a keeper who does like coming out for crosses and commanding her area. Go put pressure on her, see what that does, and that's what Wrexham have done the last 2 occasions. So definitely someone we can exploit in that area.
Everybody has to be careful here. Walking into trouble. Lily Jones wins it back in the box. Knox just didn't have enough on it, and it's good strength that by Kusasarian. Francis Jones tied these up. Reedford, Salloway, that's it. A nice first touch. Looks to go one way, feels the other. Reedford, nice idea. Saw the run of Thomas, didn't put enough on it. Wrexham continuing to look constructive here. We got back on the front foot. And that's a one for Barker to chase. Good challenge. Right in front of those adoring Wrexham fans.
Well, I just don't think Pyunik have put any real substantial possession, or even since the goal, it doesn't look like it's really lifted them. Wrexham have been brilliant in that response yet again, in pushing them right back the other way and saying no, that's not how this game's going to go. And that's full credit to this team for still showing those energy levels at this point of the game.
I mean, yeah, for me, we certainly deserve to be ahead and should be ahead by more. We've helped them out with both goals. Just need to close this out. Carapaccio with a good stretch. Salloway will take again. We're into the last 10 minutes now. Harvey prodding it back in there. Chance for a breakaway, perhaps. Nejan's made a good run ahead of the ball, but again, tidy work by Francis Jones. Fight just rather ran into a cul-de-sac rather than release.
I think she's had a great game today, both defensively and getting forward. She had a couple of tough hits early in the first half, but she's risen above it, and she just keep putting pressure on down our right hand side, and she's been really effective there. So I put it down to, I'm going to say it, I think it's one of her best performances in a Wrexham shirt.
Oh, she's been outstanding. There have been a few terrific performances out there, but maybe Francis Jones is the real outstanding one. That's got too much on it. Thomas will shake. Well, you haven't said that. Well, it had a lot too much on it, which allowed the keeper to back off and then realise and still have time to pick it up.
I think what's really interesting now, we've got Salloway on the pitch. She's a natural left footer, so playing a left sided centre back as well, she gives us a different dynamic to get the ball forward, to try and play long foot passes forward like that, but also to find inside passes.
Wrexham again win the ball back cheaply in the attacking third. Here is Salloway on that left foot. Too much on that for Knox. Well, we saw that with the men's team last season, of course, when Doyle was not available on the left-hand side, with players trying to fill in there like Brunt, but right-footed, couldn't get those early balls down the flank. Doyle very adept to the ball at his feet, and you look across this Wrexham back three and the way we recruit, we have defenders who can really play out from the back. Thomas now nips in, that's good. She has support. Barker, just using that pace fantastically again. They'll be kept alive by Cook. Salloway in support. Knox, oh, it's nice. Possible offside, but no flag. And Wrexham are moving this around nicely. It's exciting to think that those nascent connections can only improve as the season goes on.
And as well, another exciting thing is just those four players in there, so Salloway, Knox, Jones, Reedford, Cook, they're all similar ages as well, so we're building for the future. And imagine like we said before, the connections they'll make over long term, over the next few years. Like, really, really exciting to see so many good, talented young players in this team.
Salaway shoots too much of the ball into Ghazalian, but her pass was poor, tired-looking pass. They've got a change ready to come on. The Sessian is one of 2 Armenian internationals who left them and have signed back for them. One left for a year. Oh, it's not the best pass to Lily Jones. Well to hold on to that. Here now is Barker looking for another expansive pass. Doesn't get that one right. Yes, she left for a year and has come back. The other one stopped playing for a year and has come back. Craven, typically alert coming off the line.
Well, she does well there, because Wrexham were just under a little bit of pressure. It just went a little bit scrappy in the middle of the park. Just a few sort of tired passes, I think more clearances than anything, just hit and hopes. And that's what they just need to be careful of, that they don't become disjointed, the gaps don't open up too wide. Because as much as I think this Pyunik side are very tired by just the looks of things, they're still going to have that quality. And you always think, as we enter the final 5 minutes, you always think the opposition just might get that one chance.
There's Kirkassian, the veteran legend of Armenian football, who comes off. And the Sessian comes on and goes straight up front. I did wonder, lovely, lovely player, Kirkassian, but the other in midfield doing a lot of the dog's work. I couldn't help wondering whether they should have put her higher up and just see what she could do, because she is very talented in terms of creativity and finishing. Now then, here's a chance for a break. Wrexham are certainly not coming up in support in a hurry. Knox is fouled, surely. That's tremendous, isn't it? Did so well. Thomas just nearly latched onto it as well.
Could argue the ref could have played on there. I think Thomas had through. But that's a very typical picture that you see. Faye Knox on the ball, dribbling past everyone, and then she just draws in about 4 or 5 players to create the opportunity that Thomas almost had there and that run through on goal.
Sorry, Del, that's exactly what I mean when, just a few minutes before we lost the ball and, there was a few just quick hit and hope sort of thing. That's exactly what you need from a player like Faye Knox, to just drive and just buy you and win you that foul.
Well, the bench weren't happy with the decision being given around the advantage. I'll tell you what happened. There's a lovely little pantomime down there, but let's see this as Knox goes for goal and testing the keeper out. Straightforward save. Becky Savir was going nuts on the side of the pitch. She was furious about that. As Harvey's hand on blind side of the ref. And then a really funny little incident happened. As I'll get to that in a second. Thomas, that's good. No foul there, and she's battling away. Great work. Referee gives the foul eventually. One of the subs in the back row threw some rubbish trying to hit the bin. Jodie Bartle, the skipper at the front, maybe trying to set standards in terms of don't just lob rubbish around. Looked furious, walked up, grabbed it and spiked it into the bin.
It was a good less.
Again?
I'd expect nothing less.
Yeah. The problem was, unfortunately, her message of tidiness didn't quite work, because she threw it into the bin so hard that a water bottle bounced out of the bin, so she had to pick that up as well. And that set piece comes to nothing. Frances Jones improvises that beautifully. There's very little ahead of her, so she'll have to carry on herself. Good strength, and that's the right ball. Knox's touch just looked a bit tired then, just let it down slightly. Ghazalian working it backwards.
The game's looking a little bit open now. We're trying desperately to get the ball forward, get numbers forward, but possibly tiredness is taking away the quality now, and so they're getting a lot more time on the ball, so we just need a bit of composure and to stay calm.
We have one more substitution window, and Evie Sadler was stripped off a moment ago, but she's not put bib back on. Marion Mahmood was just taking her bib off, but she appears to have it back on now as well. Now Liv Fuller is warming up, so we're certainly going through the options, thinking this through. Artesian out to the left. That's a bit of space in the middle for Ghazalian. Good stretch to take it. Can't you get the shot in? Davis, important foot in, but Wrexham need to stay on their toes here and close it down. That's a vicious strike, but it hasn't got enough on it. And the Sessian decent effort. Couldn't work Craven properly.
No, it was a decent effort, and there was just a gap that opened up that looked a little bit menacing against that Wrexham back line that in the second half has looked a lot more tighter and well put together.
It is Liv Fuller now who's ready to come on. Nice movement by Salloway, but then a poor pass by her, and Harvey, that's good decisive defending.
It's a poor pass though from the midfielder. I think she's got to get that one right, and they were in then, Pyunik.
Foul throw. We'll take that all day. We are just over a minute away from seeing how much time will be added on. We need to close this out. I can't believe I'm saying that. This does not feel like a 3-2 game.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think that's one of the reasons why Liv Fuller getting ready to come on. She will just calm us down. She'll communicate very, very well to just make sure everyone knows what her job is, and the coaching staff will be telling her, you need to get control of this game, don't make us rush.
Yeah.
That's the ball. Thomas just drifted away across her. That's a good tackle by Carapaccia, but Thomas keeps going. Great finish, can she finish? Yes! Euro Wrexham on her debut, off the bench, drills it home. We're going to Wrexham on Saturday, everybody. Oh, that was great work, great persistence, and a calm finish in the end, 4-2. Wow, well, fair play to Thomas there.
Absolutely, you just get the feeling that's going to be the first of quite a few goals in a Wrexham shirt for Natasha Thomas. But that's exactly what you want to see from your striker, just not giving in at all. We say that about so many of these Wrexham players, and that's why they have been so successful. They do not give in, even when it looks like the moment is gone. She's just sniffing out where that ball's going to land. Just an absolute nightmare for defenders. Don't think the keeper can do much about it, and that's got to be game over.
Wow. 3 added minutes. Liv Fuller is coming on for Faye Knox. Oh, this is something else. You know what makes me sad is that there's a lot of Wrexham fans out there who just don't bother with this team. I mean...
Absolutely, Mark. Absolutely agree. I think tonight tickets were £10. Honestly, if you had the opportunity to be here tonight and didn't take it, shame on you.
The joy I get from watching this team. I mean, honestly. Harvey, good foot in, and here's Ghazarian trying to get through. Craven didn't get hold of it, but Salloway did.
Well, we've certainly had our money's worth if we're talking. I brought up ticket prices, and tell you what, you certainly do.
And I do want to see what my heart rate's been, what my Apple Watch is going to tell me my heart rate's been today. It's been up and down.
Here goes Barker again, who did so well at the start of the move that Thomas finished off. It was a lovely ball by now. Here's Fuller. Thomas, crowd tell her to shoot. She obliges! Oh, my word, unlucky. Oh, it's 4-2, and we thought it was all over. Just like the 66 World Cup final, that didn't go over the line. Sadly, the ref didn't give it. Oh, well, that would have been the icing on the cake, wouldn't it? Here's Frances Jones. Maybe she can do it. Wow.
Nice tactical foul there. Don't mind one of them.
I mean, what a head start was it? Just wait till she gets up to speed. She looks tasty already, doesn't she? Carapaccia, as the Wrexham fans cheer us home. European football back at the racecourse with a bang. Salloway back to Craven. Thomas won't be able to get across to that. Here's Lily Jones, who keeps going. Understandably not much ahead of her, but she's calm and she finds Barker. Good strength by Barker, excellent strength by Barker. Holds off Yegjan. Harvey now. Cook. And the hit pass, and Carapaccia tries to drive Pyunik forwards again. That's an ambitious effort. It's on target, to be fair, but Lizzie Craven's not going to let that through. And we are getting very close to the final whistle. That will signal a moment of history. Craven, right-footed, going long. Thomas backing in. Good touch. Unlucky Barker. Oh, she hasn't hurt herself. The referee immediately stopped play there, looking concerned. That was a worry. It was a good chest down, but as she twisted to try and control it, she looked in pain, Barker. And a concerned silence comes across the crowd, understandably. And physio straight on. But this has been a fine performance. Like I said, Wrexham have got an incredible pedigree. Barker is up. We've got such a pedigree in Europe, and to add to it like this. Barker is up. She's not necessarily comfortable. She did, of course, take that knock last week and had to come off against Sporting Jacks. To be fair to the ref, she was very quick to stop play and get help on for it. Oh, she's limping heavily. Well, let's get the ice on it again, as we did last week, and hopefully she'll be okay for Saturday. Because there's going to be high stakes on Saturday. Goodness me. I might get to miss the Middlesbrough game after all and go to Copenhagen. Yejan, the captain, going long. Harvey looked to be impeded, nothing given. Davis back to Craven, who has to be careful and is. Barker is looking to come back on, which is great news. Good interception again, and Francis Jones over the top. Something good. Thomas to Jason. There's that pace of hers. Oh, I like that. Unlucky, just off balance as she made first touch. So there was no second touch. And that is it. Wrexham win in Europe. We just didn't know what to expect. We just know it was going to be tough. But Wrexham win and honour the remarkable pedigree of this club. Although it's got to be said, no Wrexham team's ever won in the Champions League before. No Wrexham team's ever played in the Champions League before, and it's a while since a Welsh team has avoided defeat or even scored in the Champions League before. But Wrexham beat the Armenian champions Pyunik 4-2 despite going behind to a fine finish by Battalion. Barker equalising within a minute with a great finish from the near post. Lily Jones putting us ahead in the 50th minute with an utterly brilliant strike from the right side of the box inside the far corner. Absolutely unstable. When Ava Suckley scrambled the ball over the net after the keeper had failed to take it, it looked like it was game over. But within a minute, Gazarian was able to strike, and again the game was up in the air. Wrexham pushed on though. Lovely move, saw Knox drive the ball just over. Knox then just wide before, in the first minute of added time, the finishing touch, Natasha Thomas off the bench, scoring in the box, keeping her cool as defenders lunged in, and she nearly got another a minute later with a screamer from 25 yards out, which at the bottom of the bar and dropped just the wrong side of the line. But I tell you what, that was a performance to be proud of, and we are playing for a place in the next round next Saturday.
Honestly, Mark, I can't stop smiling. I really struggled to get through those last 10 minutes without just saying how enjoyable and how proud I am of this team, and how proud I am to be a Wrexham AFC fan. And listen, there's been so many moments over the past few years since Rob and Ryan who've come in that have blown your socks off, and you feel like have been, you know, a big key part of Wrexham AFC's history. Well, I tell you what, this feels like an absolute whole new book, a whole, you know, not even the chapter for me. This is such a big moment, and those girls who've gone out there today and done what they've just done, that's incredible. I said it at the start of the game, this club does not rest on their laurels. I saw so many people say, well, it's an achievement to get in the Champions League qualifiers, it's an achievement to just have this game, it'd be an achievement, you know, to score, to be the first Welsh team to score in 6 years. Well, I'll tell you what this Wrexham team will do, they'll score 4 and they'll win the game. Never mind all this just happy to be here. I'm not absolutely having that. That's the mentality of this Jenny Sugarman side. It's absolutely brilliant. I say it a lot about Phil Parkinson's side. Doubt them at your own peril.
Del, that was quite good, wasn't it?
wow. I have goosebumps from my toes all the way up to the scalp of my head. Wow. But it's just amazing to see, and the fact that a core group of Wrexham players, Wrexham born and bred, but Wrexham players who have been here now for a few years, not only got us here, are in this squad, but played that game and scored goals and assisted our goals. And you can see how much this result, being here today, but this result means to the fans and it means to the players, and they've gone straight over to the glorious, wonderful Wrexham fans that literally travel all over the country to watch these girls play. And what a performance as well. And wow, it's just I'm so proud of them, and I'm so happy for the girls, and we've witnessed history here tonight, and it's an honour to be here in this position. Never mind just seeing them do that. Brilliant.
Well, you look at on the monitor at the images, you know, Lily Jones hugging her mum and pointing to the sky. It's just beautiful. Liv Fuller trying to high-five everybody in the terrace. That was quite something. And Michaela Cook doing the Ayatollah. Interesting move. I like it. Oh, that was just joyous, wasn't it? And, you know, I didn't say this in the game because I just did not want to tempt fate. But when it was 3-2, and I'm saying we should have won by more, the logical part of my brain was saying, this is okay, because if they somehow take us to extra time, I don't see them stopping us from scoring. We had goals in us today, and that was the exciting part of it. You know, the people in the know beforehand were saying, wouldn't it be lovely if we score? We had a lot bigger ambition than that. We were better than that, and we showed it in spades.
And again, something that really excites me, that this Wrexham side is not in its final form by any means. This is their first proper, real competitive game for this season. It's quite incredible, and I mentioned it at half-time. I thought that FC Pyunik, I didn't think they looked as sharp or as fit as this Wrexham side, and coming into this as the lowest ranked team in the Champions League qualifiers, that's not what you'd expect. You'd expect us to maybe be a little bit off it, marginally, or maybe a bit more so, but so impressive. And again, you've got to give huge credit to the staff. They've obviously had a really successful camp out in Cork. Maybe a few things were said about the friendly against Sporting Jacks last week, but I think that was probably a really good little flip and a switch and a big push to sort of show to these girls, that's the level we need to be at. And it's now brilliant that they all get to have this moment now with friends and family, but I absolutely can rest assured that they'll be straight away after tonight thinking about Saturday and be ready to go again.
Oh God, yeah. I just love Phoebe Davis there with the little girl and a big sign saying, "Go Auntie Phoebes." Oh, I just love it. It's just fantastic. They're such a brilliant bunch, and they deserve this. They have earned it. They deserve it. Michaela Cook in the centre spot then, rolling around going nuts.
Did a knee slide as well, which is what she's famous for. But you know what? It's great to see someone like her embrace the badge as well, because she's a Cardiff, born and bred Cardiff fan, and she's joined this Wrexham team and fully embraced everything that it means, and that's just so great to see. And I think that's the magic of Wrexham. No matter who you are, where you come from, who you support, what your history is in football, when you join this club and you get a feel for it, it never leaves you. It never leaves you, and it literally ingrains into your blood from minute one. And I think that part of the power of what this team is, the men's and the women's, it means so much to everyone involved, and you can see that when they play, you can see it when they score the goals, you can see it in the amount of supporters that we have, and it's just, Wrexham is just a special club, and I can't say that I'm surprised by the result today either. It's just really great to witness.
Yeah, I was sort of saying in the commentary that it was a step into the unknown. You're not quite sure what to expect from Pyunik, and obviously with Sporting Jacks looked so good last week. But actually it was them stepping beyond their abilities, not us. Sporting Jacks, I think, would fancy their chances in the Champions League, frankly. We did think that. We weren't too concerned by that. It was a good workout and a good chance to work on defensive units. But Lily Jones, I think she's in the concourse of the stand. I just love that.
Getting a sausage roll.
Yeah, there you go. Just to taunt California.
Deserved.
Tragic, isn't it? But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just lovely to see this union again between fans and the players. We've seen it with the men's team, with the way that there's that sort of constant faith that drove us up the divisions, with the fans had total faith in the players and their ability to turn things round. But goodness me, here it's a very special sort of communion between fans and players, as I think we may be close to having Jenny Sugarman ready to talk about her European triumph. I know that her coaching mentor is here, and wow, she's really got something to be astonishingly proud of here, hasn't she?
Yeah, and I think sometimes we're maybe a little bit too quick to say, you know, about the mentality of this Wrexham side, how much they put in, week out. And listen, that's the absolute sort of bedrock of this team. But also, let's not shy away from the fact we've also got some excellent technical footballers who are very good at football. And, you know, we've seen that again tonight, whether it's Pyunik, you know, creating that first goal. Obviously, the quality just throughout this side. I mentioned Josie Smith when she came off today. I thought she was brilliant. But also tactically, I think, you know, you had to be reactionary in this sort of game when you just didn't know what you were coming up against. And I thought they were brilliant at that. I think maybe it took them the first 10 minutes, really, 10-15, to really understand what FC Pyunik were trying to do. But once they did that, they did build in confidence and certainly control.
You were just waving to your adoring public then, Del, from the other side of the pitch. I love that, quite right too. They're singing for you now as well. We're still searching for Jenny Sugarman. I think, like I said, Lily Jones was in the concourse. I think Jenny Sugarman's out in the car park celebrating, I think. But wow, I mean, remarkable that. I mean, Riga to come, we saw they were very good this morning. But having said that, we've seen today what we are, and Riga looked very good, but they weren't able to put Glentoran away till quite late on. Glentoran fought well and stayed with them. And I think we showed we've got a bit more than Glentoran have in terms of attacking quality and being able to retain the ball.
Yeah, it's a really interesting, matchup now. I think, we were all a bit, let's focus on this one first and then go on. But from the bits I saw earlier on today, it was certainly a good matchup. And again, it's just really exciting and another great opportunity to now have more European football at the Kairos.
I think it's going to be a really exciting game as well, because both teams have scored a lot of goals in their first round. So gonna be, I imagine, a tougher game. But like we've shown, this Wrexham team has got heart, they've got grit, they've got desire, and we can absolutely not rule out this Wrexham team. And can't go into Saturday complacent, not at all. But as well, we might be better prepared as well now. Obviously, they'll be able to watch us, but we'll be able to watch their most recent game, obviously, from today. So it'll be interesting. And
they'll get so much confidence from today as well, just getting that experience. Obviously, we've got a number of players who have actually played in this competition before, but especially for those ones who haven't. And, I'd pick out particular ones in Lily Jones and Ava Suckley, who maybe have a little bit more weight on their shoulders in terms of having to prove themselves at this level, maybe a little bit more than some of their counterparts. Well, they've done more than that today. So I think they'll go into that one on Saturday with a little bit more swagger maybe and that additional bit of confidence too.
We can't afford to make those mistakes again, because really both goals that we conceded today were basically down to us not being careful enough with the ball. Having said that, I mean, Riga look a better side than Pyunik, I think, without question. But we look a better side than Pyunik. I wouldn't say. Let me put it this way: a lot of people online and talking afterwards were very impressed with Riga and were of the opinion, oh God, they'd be a hell of a team to get past, and they were. I thought they were very impressive. But Riga would have looked at that and thought exactly the same thing, playing us on our home patch. It's a slightly different style of football, but we're also technical and we're aggressive and we hurt teams, and we should approach that game with the positivity, not just the swagger of that performance, but also just knowing we are, we're good and we know we can do this now.
Yeah, and what we've got is the backing of over 1,000 fans watching us today. So this is a call out to everyone who can get here on Saturday. Yeah. Come and watch and make this fill out that stand. Let's raise the roof. Let's get behind our team. Let's intimidate this team that we're playing on Saturday. And
who wants to be in Tampa? Come on.
Exactly.
I know they've got a pirate ship, but we've got Pyunik, for God's sake.
We've got Champions League, so what's better? I know what's better, but yeah.
Well, it's a no-brainer for me. I mean, goodness me. I mean, this is such a huge occasion. I'm just so proud. Those fans aren't going anywhere. They're hanging around, relishing this. And frankly, the players don't want to go anywhere. They're loving sharing it with them. So many terrific performances. Like I said, Maria Francis-Jones, tremendous up and down that right-hand side. Harvey, again, rock solid. Phoebe Davis's early tackles, I thought, laid down a bit of a marker in terms of when Pyunik were looking quite sharp early on and trying to run at us. They failed to do what we did, get past players in individual duels in the attacking third, because our centre-backs were winning those tackles really, really well. And Lily Jones as well. I mean, good Lord, Lily Jones.
Wow, like she just created moments of magic today, and they were moments of magic that were needed at the right time, and they were just outstanding. They were brilliant. Even the one Ava scored, and the cross from Lily, it wasn't the cross, it was that turn out of two players who were closing in on her, and she's just turned to get one touch out, and she's taken them out of the game. And that little magic moments like that, as well as obviously the first goal. So it's just that was a great performance by everyone. I don't think people played poorly. I think people might have had a quiet moment, but everyone did what they needed to do and pulled it out the bag. And obviously people like Lily had those star moments. I think Natasha Thomas, her debut competitive appearance, wow. Like, she's shown us and shown the league and shown Wales what she's going to bring to the table.
And you know, let's be honest, she didn't start because she hasn't got minutes in her legs, and she does look to me like she's not really looking all that sharp. Not saying that as a criticism, just she's clearly needs time on the pitch, needs more time in the training ground. But you can still see with her quality, not just with the goal, but with other elements of her play, that, my word, I mean, what a player she is. And Adrian Premier defenders are not going to enjoy that, are they, handling her?
Oh, absolutely not. But again, that brings me to the sort of next point in, look at the absolute talent we have at our disposal now in terms of squad depth, because it's just superb. You know, you look at Ava Suckley, who was ahead of obviously Natasha Thomas today. I mean, you'd have a hard job to actually say to her, well you're coming out, because all she replies, well, I put in a really good graft today and got a goal. I think we could say similar about obviously Liz Craven. There was a question there with Lucy Farrell's start today. Liz Craven said no, she was brilliant against Sporting Jacks and fully deserved a start on spot.
Absolutely. Well, what a win. What an occasion. Let's hear from the architect of that victory, the winning manager, Jenny Sugarman.
Sugarman, where on earth do we even start with that one? Congratulations. Talk us through what was an absolute roller coaster of a game out there.
Yeah, sometimes we don't make it easy for ourselves, do we? But I think everyone enjoys that bit of drama, don't they? Did we play our best football at times? No. But we played with heart, we played with desire. Some of the individual performances out there, like Maria Francis-Jones, what a game she's had. Second half, I thought we were significantly better with the ball than we were in the first half. I thought Belle on debut did a great job, playing probably a little bit out of position on that left wing back, and then when she moved centrally, I thought she did a great job. And Tash getting that goal as well is special for her on debut, but the crowd, I think, enjoyed it. I think the players fed off of that momentum building. What an evening of football.
We talk about the technical abilities of this side and what they can do as individual players, but I think the heart of this team really showed today, equalising so soon after going behind, the determination of Ava and Tash to get the goals. We saw so much heart out there from this team.
Yeah, like those two goals epitomise it, don't they? Because you feel like the chance is gone, but they won't let it go. And you're right, we coming from going behind, but coming back so quickly is really important. Like, because otherwise you give the opposition the upper hand. And as we came out from second half, I know Lily was disappointed with her first half performance, but you only need a moment to change a game, and that's something that only she can do. Is the way that she's finished that is incredible.
And just talk to us about this team spirit, because yes, we saw the individual brilliance of Lily. Maria had a brilliant game. Tash comes on and scores. Bella left wing back. We can talk about those individual performances, but as a team, just where does that come from? It must come from the very top. And as a coach, seeing that team spirit must mean so much to you.
It does, because we work really hard on it. Like, it's not something that happens by accident. Like, we, as a group of staff and as a group of players, the leadership group, it's really, really important that the values that they've worked on as a group across pre-season, that we live and breathe, and they're not just words on a wall. Like, there's stuff that we talk about. There's stuff that we talk about. What are the behaviours that we want to see? How do we manage in difficult situations? Togetherness is one of them, and like you saw that today, they had each other's backs. They had people. If somebody made a mistake, the next one was in and supporting them. And we had some really tired legs out there at the end. Katie Barker has run herself into the ground there for the team. I know somebody like her Champions League debut. That's incredible for her, and she gave it absolutely everything she's got out there.
Final one for me. It's just a small matter now of a final on Saturday. Now I'm sure we'll talk tactics and what to expect, but just from a fan's perspective, we saw and heard just how much noise these fans made, heard the passion that they have. What's your message to them on Saturday? Because my goodness me, if they're not inspired after that, I don't quite know what will do it.
Yeah, I can't ask for 4 stands full of fans here, because we've only got 3 at the moment, but if we could get more than one stand filled, and because for the opposition, our opposition today will, I'm sure, not have played in front of a crowd like that, and it potentially will be the same for Riga on Saturday as well. So it's not just about giving our players that extra little bit, it's about taking something away from the opposition as well. So come and see history made, come and see us playing in the Champions League, trying to make it into QT. No Welsh team's ever done it, so get behind the team. Again, like I said in the week, you're going to be entertained. You're going to watch a game of football. So, yeah, get down here.
Diolch, Jenny. Llongyfarchiadau.
Diolch.
I'm in my pants every day.
Wow. Well, what can I say? What an absolute joy that was. Wrexham are through to the final of the preliminary first round group. We're after a 4-2 victory, and chapeau to absolutely everybody. That was a joy. Thank you all so much for sharing the game with us. Thank you on Ask Wrexham for your interactions. Many thanks, Del and Mia. As always, you're fantastic, and as always, it's a privilege to share the game with you and to experience history here as Wrexham win in the Champions League, a sentence I never thought I'd say, and I'm a wild fantasist. And also thank you so much, as always, to the Badgers, the brilliant guys and the brilliant crew who bring these games to you and are such a joy to work with. I have loved spending the day with them, and hey, maybe on Saturday I'll get a little treat of doing that once more. Of course, we'll be streaming both games on Saturday as well. Oh, my word. But Wrexham win in Europe. That's the key takeaway. What a joy it has been. What a night. Even as we speak, Jenny Sugarman is in the boot of a car being driven around Wrexham like Ollie Palmer. I'm quite sure. Thank you all so much for joining us, and see you on Saturday with the final score of Wrexham 4, Pyunik 2. We have been Mia Roberts, Del Morgan and Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.